the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientist, this is dedicated to the risks of exposure to low-level radiation. And I'm primarily, in some great measure, concerned about veterans and about their exposures to what is euphemistically referred to as DU, something I'd rather call radioactive weaponry. And while the Department of DEF, or DOD, whatever you want to call them, Department of Defense, if they will acknowledge at all a health effect, generally they will dismiss it by stating, it's a low-level effect, therefore it has no consequence. And so, and I am very well informed. I'm bi-coastal, I'm in Nevada, and I'm in Illinois. I'm very well informed about what's going on at the Nevada test site, which is a repository for low-level and bomb-grade nuclear waste. And I wonder if you could just very briefly give me a synopsis, very briefly. If you could define low-level radiation very briefly. I know what it is, but for those who don't know, if you'd be so kind.
Well, I think I should bring Arjun up here if he's still here. I mean, there is no safe level of exposure to radioactivity, and I think the National Academy of Sciences has, over several reports, suggested as much. It's always a matter of cost-benefit. Mammogram, I get much more exposure from that than from hanging around a nuclear power plant. But I'm willing to go through that in order to, for health reasons. Dental X-ray is the same. So I think, yes, low-level radiation is something to be concerned about. But with all of these technologies in general, these are complicated things, and we need to be thinking about what the harm is, as well as and the benefits. And for each of us, it's an individual thing. Then we make that determination. The problem is when it comes to a public exposure to low-level radiation, and I think that's where it's even more difficult because it's not something you can control necessarily. And it's something that you can't, it's hard to get a grip on. So that, the issue that we did in the bulletin was an attempt to try to tease out, untangle some of the complexities of the issue. I will say, we are often sometimes called the voice of reason. Sometimes we're not called that at all. But I will comment that I got two responses, several, but two in particular that I remember. One saying, well, I read this bulletin issue and it's really terrific, and it's clear that we just, there's just no safe level for this stuff and we should get rid of all of it. And the other one was, this is a great issue, and well, I guess we just don't have anything to worry about. So it tries to inform you. So be informed. Thank you.
Hello, I'm John Bolenbaugh, and I'm a whistleblower for tar sand oil. I have turned into an activist now and a reporter, and I make videos, and they're becoming worldwide slowly. But now I'm having whistleblowers contact me, one from a nuclear power plant in Michigan. I can't say which one, but I'm about ready to make some major videos of your government cover-ups. And yeah, I'm excited. So I came here to learn more about this, but I'm living an Aaron Brockovich situation in Michigan. We have hundreds of sick people, and they're getting sicker all the time with seizures. People have died, cancer's on the rise. We had 40 miles of river that was contaminated. And it's important for you people here in Chicago because they lied to you, and the toxic chemicals made it to the Great Lakes, to Lake Michigan, and that's where your fresh water comes from. That's where you drink from. And so I want to know, because I heard today that it's radioactive, the bottom of our river is still full of oil, and I've already, from my videos, made them clean up over $100 million extra after they said a year and a half ago it was 100% clean from my videos. So can you tell me how radioactive tar sand oil is? I need to learn more about that, either from you or somebody later tonight that's in the audience.
I don't know.
I'm sure somebody heard me, so just approach me later.
Yeah, on the whistleblower thing, two thoughts. be very careful not to fingerprint the person. And even if you take their name off the file, that doesn't mean that there can't be retribution. I had a case where I made a mistake. The whistleblower contacted me. I totally sanitized the information, and I gave it to the NRC through. I always go. My wife's advice here is right on the money. Don't go directly to the NRC. Go to Congress and have them give it to the NRC. It's more protection for you, and it also is likely to get results. But anyway, so I did that. And I gave them 3 concerns, and each concern was sanitized. The NRC took the 3 concerns and gave them to Oyster Creek. And there's only one, even though each concern was sanitized and there was no fingerprint, there was only one person who could have done all 3 of those. And there was retribution. So, and of course, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission is really not interested in protecting the person either. So just please be very careful. You don't inadvertently jeopardize a person's career, his family, and stuff like that.
Right. When I reported the cover-up that they were burying oil instead of cleaning it up to save money, I was fired the next day, and so I won my lawsuit. And but this whistleblower that I'm talking about, I don't know what to do. He's scared for his life, for real. Well, I've had 4 death threats and slashed tires and cut brakes and everything already.
Pogo in Washington, and there's also a couple others, POGO, something, Program on Government Oversight, can help whistleblowers. That would be one, and I'd go to. There's also a couple others down there too, but Pogo comes to mind.
So I shouldn't just go through an attorney?
Well,
yeah,
they would line you up with they would line the person up with an attorney, or if you call them the person's behalf, whatever. But they're pretty good at not fingerprinting people, and they're also, they know how to work the bureaucracy.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Can I have one thought on your question about whistleblowers? When I blew the whistle, my wife and I went to the legislature in Connecticut and tried to pass a whistleblower protection law. And the first year we lost. Northeast Utilities just overwhelmed us. But we it was okay because we educated a bunch of senators. The second year, we thought we won. And we had a great bill. This is in Northeast, in Connecticut, and it was honest protection for the whistleblowers. But behind the scenes, Northeast Utilities took the funding away. So it's not, you have to, from the person on the staff who was supposed to be doing whistleblower protection, they just eliminated the funding from that. So we lost, we thought we won and we lost. It's not, making a presentation in a state house is not enough. You really need a presence in a state house. The groups in Connecticut, in Vermont rather, have a full-time lobbyist. And it took 3 years for what happened in Vermont. So one of the things I learned at the state level is you need a presence when you walk out of the room, and the lobbyists for the other side do not.
I really believe you need bodyguards. I think that's the only protection. And anytime I go do investigative work, I have people that come with me now.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Beverly Walter, local activist. My question is about the Soviet Union. And after the former Soviet Union was dissolved, it was broke. And so they sold a lot of their weapons. And a lot of those apparently ended up in some kind of rogue nations that used to be a part of the Soviet Union. I think including Moldavia, which is down close to Romania and close to the Crimea. And this is quite a rogue nation. There have been books written about it. And it is selling those weapons in a kind of a black market criminal fashion. I'm just wondering if you're aware of that and if you think that maybe any nuclear weapons have leaked out into the criminal element, the worldwide criminal element, because apparently it's getting stronger and stronger.
I'm not aware of the, these are conventional weapons that have gone to Moldavia.
They're weapons. I don't know if there were any nuclear weapons or not. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah. I don't, after the breakup of the Soviet Union, we worked very diligently with the countries which were the inheritors of those weapons, Belarus, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan. And in fact, were able to move those weapons back to Russia. Through several different efforts have managed to move much of the fissile material out of those countries. So I don't, yes, the Soviet Union, Russia was broke, and that's in fact why Senators Nunn and Lugar put in place the Cooperative Threat Reduction Program, because they knew it would be difficult for them to dismantle and secure, and there are horror stories about where the material was kept, and was just a padlock, for instance. So we've over the last 25 years have managed to secure something like 80 or 90% of the Soviet or the former Soviet arsenals and material. The IAEA does track the traffic in fissile material, either highly enriched uranium or plutonium, and there have been certainly a number of incidents, and it is scary. And that's why we have worked hard to get Congress to continue to fund these programs, so that they will. But I'm not aware of, there have been sting operations, and there has been material that has been picked up, but I don't believe that the kind of large-scale operation you're talking about, certainly I haven't heard.
One thing, and I agree with this, I don't believe there's any missing nukes, but there are some handheld weapons, conventional weapons, that can poke the hole in the side of a BWR fuel pool like Dresden and cause it to have a meltdown. So the conventional weapons are out there, and we as a country have discounted the terrorist threat issue.
But it's also the case that the U.S. is the greatest manufacturer, the largest manufacturer of handheld, any kind of weapon. So they're ours.
My name is Gail Vaughn, and you had said, I believe you were quoting the NRC chairman, that storage of the nuclear waste was not a technical problem, but a political problem. Maybe I misheard you, but no, it's well, I'm not so sure that I agree with that. I think that it's still something of a technical problem, and I wanted to know if anyone here has any idea of what we should be doing with all of the stuff that we can more or less secure, the spent fuel rods, the fissile material, the former bombs, much less the stuff that's out of control already, like Hanford and Savannah River and Fukushima. That's my question. Any ideas?
Well, I'll just quickly, I'm not an expert, I leverage my ignorance and try to listen to other people and try and put it all together. But my understanding from the folks that I talked to at the Bulletin and other places is that, we do have to do something with it, right? Okay, let's stipulate that. Right now, the dry cask storage, as I understand it, has the possibility, and you'll talk to the expert in a minute, but I think what Allison was referring to was that the dry cask storage seems to be sufficient for now. It's better than leaving it in pools, open pools. And I think her suggestion is that Yucca Mountain may not be at all a good place from a geologist's point of view. But she suggests that there are places in the United States where if you're looking for a permanent repository, actually Illinois wouldn't be bad. Because if you look at the geology right now, there isn't much seismic activity. It's very, it's not. All I'm saying is that, we chose the West because that's where the weapons have gone out and people were used to dealing with this stuff. The point is we need to find a solution to it. And so, well, I'm giving you the ideas that I know about.
And we will be discussing that tomorrow as well.
When you find yourself in a hole, that's thing to do is to stop digging. So building more or running them longer creates more of the waste that we still don't know what to do. I think it worked. The dry casks, seem to be what we'll be stuck with for 50 years or more. Whether or not to keep those on the sites or to consolidate them is a separate issue.